Están cometiendo un delito.
Gold fever is catching in the Peruvian Amazon. It's spreading from village to remote village, as riverside communities face off against police and prosecutors who want to stop the illegal activity. But as criminals and the profits from gold dredged from the river are taking hold, some communities are holding out against gold fever. Mishana is a small village of around 80 people on the banks of the Nanay River, just an hour from the main city of Iquitos in the heart of the Peruvian Amazon. Its inhabitants live a peaceful existence from fishing, farming and community ecotourism. As with so many Amazon communities, the river is fundamental to their way of life. But danger lurks further upstream, and Peruvian police and prosecutors struggle to control its spread. Long distances and rugged terrain make it difficult, says environmental prosecutor Carlos Castro.
Son tahuampas, no hay donde aterrizar, tampoco por las curvas que presenta esta cuenca, no es posible, no hay, como dicen los pilotos, no hay un estirón donde ellos puedan acuatizar, ¿no? Sí. Entonces, tenemos solamente... Muchas curvas. Sí, demasiadas. No es posible, no es viable acuatizar, ¿no? Como nos ha señalado la Fuerza Aérea. Ahora, ¿se puede llegar en helicóptero? Sí.
Dozens of river dredgers line the river, sucking up silt in search of gold. They use toxic mercury to separate the flecks of the precious metal from the sediment. Scientists want to know how the dredging is impacting the river's health. A team from the Amazon Scientific Innovation Center has come to Mishana to find out.
Here we're starting research about the mercury levels in riverine people, in fish, and in sediment. The reason why we're doing this is we want to know which are the levels right now here in Loreto, because right now the artisanal gold mining is starting and it's an activity that can increase mercury level.
Vega, the team leader, gathers the community in the village hall to explain what they're facing.
Porque sabemos, nosotros tenemos entendido que arriba el Alto Nanay hay todavía minería ilegal que está trabajando. Y no quisiéramos ser las personas, las comunidades contaminadas, no sé, que estemos recibiendo ese tipo de enfermedad, vamos diciendo claro, ¿no? Es como una enfermedad que ese mercurio va a entrar en tu intestino y seguramente es la muerte.
Vega explains that the principal impact on human health is not directly from mercury in the water, but when the mercury gets into the food chain and the fish.
When it goes into the water, there's a bacteria, a microorganism that can convert this inorganic mercury to organic mercury or methyl mercury. That type of mercury is very toxic, and if you eat it, then you will absorb it. And what happens with methyl mercury form in the water? It goes into the food chain. It goes into the plants, into the microorganism, then the fish that eat other fish, and it starts concentrating into the food chain.
Living by the river, children learn to fish from a young age. Casting a net in the early evening, you can usually catch a few fish for supper. And in Loreto, this huge Amazon region, people eat on average 50 kilos of fish every year, much more than anywhere else in Peru. Fishing is part of everyday life here in the Peruvian Amazon, mostly in the early evening and the early morning. And the people here eat fish every day. It's the principal protein source. That's why they're so worried about illegal mining. The following morning on an oxbow lake, villagers are fishing, but these fish do not go into the pan, but under the knife. The biologists dissect the fish, like this tucanare, a common species native to this river. Tissue samples are cut out, dated and taken away for testing. The results may take months. But it's not just the fish who get their mercury levels checked, but the people too.
No es bien, pues. Para nosotros que vivimos aquí en esta zona del río Nanay, que consumir los peces, para nosotros no es bueno.
On top of a routine health check measuring weight, height, blood pressure and hemoglobin levels for anemia, Vega also takes a hair sample that in a few months will indicate mercury levels measured in parts per million. The hair is cut from the back of the head, just behind the brain's cerebellum. Every centimetre of length represents a month. The World Health Organization classifies mercury as one of the 10 chemicals of major public concern.
In case of children, when they are exposed to, like when their mother is pregnant, it could harm the way that they learn, they think, their memory. When it's at very high levels, you could see even like paralysis, like they look like deformation. The vision could be harmed and the capacity of listening too. So in terms of population, you're affecting the way that, like even the IQ. If you have a kid that was exposed during pregnancy, it will have a lower IQ. So you're affecting the way this kid could learn or could be productive. So you're affecting the kid for the whole life.
In heavily mined Amazon regions like Madre de Dios in southern Peru, tests show up to 60% of adults have mercury levels above safe limits. The Nanay River supplies fresh water to 500,000 people in Iquitos, the regional capital of this rainforest region. A public health crisis may already be underway.
When the miners come here, they just talk about the goal and how much money you can earn, but they don't say nothing about the impacts.
While the mining activity is still relatively new, it has exploded in size and scale since the COVID-19 pandemic. Gold from the Nanay River is openly on sale in the regional capital Iquitos. The shopkeeper was not shy about putting it on display. The gold from the Nanay is known for its high purity. And here in downtown Iquitos, the regional capital, on the street where the jewelers are, you can find it, even though it's officially illegal. Mining on any body of water is prohibited in Peru, but rising gold prices have made this illicit activity attractive in a poor region. A dredger operating for 24 hours can rake in 100 grams or $8,000 worth of gold at $80 per single gram. And intelligence sources say Colombian gangsters believed to include dissident members of the now demobilized Revolutionary Armed Forces of Colombia, or FARC, have muscled in. Officials say they use violence to enforce their rule in remote areas and dominate illegal gold and cocaine trafficking. Herman Ruiz is head of the Alpahuayo Mishana National Reserve, where Mishana is located on the Nanay River.
Empezamos a recibir reportes de presencia de personas que iban, personas extrañas, extranjeros, peruanos, ¿no? O peruanos que venían de otra parte de nuestro país a participar de las asambleas comunales y proponían a las comunidades trabajar minería, ¿no? Entonces hacer construir sus dragas para que puedan ellos sacar el oro, y ellos iban a pagar, se comprometían a pagar a la comunidad.
Just a few years, the number of dredgers quickly multiplied from dozens to more than 100 in the upper reaches of the Nanay River, and the police checkpoint became quickly overrun. When we visited the Yarana checkpoint, police told us they had seized motors and diesel that passing vessels were trying to smuggle upriver to supply the dredgers. When police and navy tried to intervene, the miners have ingenious ways of hiding the equipment, sinking the converted truck motors or hiding the dredger rafts in swamps. What's more, all the dredgers are now equipped with Starlink satellite dishes, along with communities that support the mining, says Ruiz.
En el sobrevuelo anterior eran normales, ¿no? Y en el siguiente vuelo que hacíamos tenían un cuadradito brillante en el techo, ¿no? Como una antena, ¿no? Todas, de un momento a otro, todas empezaron a tener eso. Y nos dimos cuenta que ese cuadradito era una antena de internet, de Starlink, ¿no? Entonces nosotros ya sacamos las conclusiones de que todas estaban interconectadas, porque cuando hacían operativos no encontraban a ni una.
el grueso de
While enforcement may be struggling, technology is catching up with the miners. Sydney Noboa provides the prosecutors with up-to-date locations with real-time satellite images to help them detect the location of the dredgers along 320 kilometers of river. Illegal gold mining is not just a problem in the river Nanay and other Amazon rivers, it's all over Peru. Already well established in Madre de Dios in the southern Amazon, the activity has expanded hugely, Noboa told CGTN.
Solamente en este sector vemos de que sube el número de infraestructuras, dragas, chutes de 529 por ahí a más de 1.300, ¿no? Y por ende también el número de personas trabajando pasa las 5.500 mineros, ¿no?
So these are all dredgers. What you can see here, these red dots. These are all dredgers, and they represent something like 5,000 workers, some miners who are working in this area.
Correcto.
And that is a growth of approximately 10 times higher than it was before.
Sí, no, el crecimiento ha sido respecto al año 2021 del 900%.
With international gold prices at record highs, illegal mining has become Peru's most lucrative illicit economy, growing by 40% this year and turning over, according to the Peruvian Institute of Economics, nearly $7 billion. The same think tank says Peru exports 44% of all the illegal gold that leaves South America. In November, thousands of informal and illegal miners pressed home that economic power by camping out in downtown Lima. They demanded that the government keep open an existing registry of informal miners in the country, known by its Spanish acronym Rainfo. Environmental lawyer Cesar Epenza says in practice, the registry allows miners to continue operating illegally.
En ese registro se inscriben mineros que en la práctica operan y simplemente se inscriben, ¿no? Y lo que facilita eso es que las fiscalías ambientales o el sistema de justicia no los puede perseguir, porque la ley dice que los mineros que están inscritos en ese reinfo están exentos de responsabilidad penal. Entonces un fiscal va a un operativo, el minero sale con su papel y dice: yo estoy inscrito, usted no me puede intervenir.
So far, just a fraction, 2.3%, of nearly 85,000 miners have completed the formalization process, while 79% have been suspended. Peru's government presented a bill to Congress aimed at fast-tracking the process, but lawmakers rejected it in favor of extending Rainfo for the umpteenth time. Eduardo Salwana, the Speaker of Peru's Congress, denied accusations that he and other lawmakers favored the illegal practice.
No se ha avanzado en la formalización, no ha habido recursos, las regiones no han hecho su trabajo como correspondía. Por consiguiente, cerca de ¿cuántos? Se dice que en el Perú hay 500,000 de mineros informales. Esa gente, que es un universo considerable, y van a pasar a ser ya de informales a ilegales, pasibles de denuncias penales, de destrucción de equipos, persecución penal, obviamente. Entonces se planteó ampliar el plazo de formalización.
Driven by lax law enforcement, political support, and record international gold prices, earnings from illegal mining have surpassed even drug trafficking. Peru loses around $6 billion a year, some 2.5% of GDP, to illegal gold mining, and say experts exported some 2,600 tons of gold of unknown origin during the last decade. Its high profits and low risk has attracted criminals, particularly those looking to launder assets, says Peru's Financial Intelligence Unit.
Otros ilícitos encuentran en la minería ilegal la mejor oportunidad para lavar su dinero. Es decir, ellos tienen, de punto de efectivo, puede ser un narcotraficante, y quiere lavar su dinero y encuentra en la minería una posibilidad, y de esa forma ellos, al tener efectivo, van a la zona de producción, hacen una suerte de acopiadores de oro, forman sus empresas acopiadoras y finalmente terminan exportando el oro. Una vez que exportan el oro y viene la transferencia de dinero, digamos que ya está lavado porque es una transferencia aquí en otro país, que tiene un sustento en una exportación.
Peru is South America's biggest gold producer and the 8th largest in the world. But how do people know if gold from Peru was mined without harming people or the environment? Some gold buyers are driving a small but emerging demand for clean, responsibly sourced gold. In this field, in Peru, women are leading the way.
I am Andrea Jose. I am a Peruvian jewelry designer, and I work with sustainable gold from Peru.
Castro studied jewellery design in London. She founded a sustainable jewellery company, Casa Collab, and became creative director of her own brand, Andrea Jose Design.
Sustainable gold means gold that has been extracted without the use of mercury in reforested concessions. In particular, I work in the area of Madre de Dios, located in the Amazon region of Peru.
Illegal gold mining in Madre de Dios is blamed for the deforestation of more than 1,000 square kilometers and the contamination of dozens of rivers and streams.
The use of mercury has been actually one of the most toxic processes that is now used in artisanal mining worldwide. So in my case, I'm trying to work with methods that are more responsible, more sustainable for the ecosystems and for the communities.
Castro works with artisanal miners who extract gold without using mercury from land that is being reforested. Here too, women lead the way. Castro works with a collective of women artisanal miners in Madre de Dios, led by Vilma Contreras.
Sí, es posible, como ustedes han sido testigos, hemos recuperado en estos momentos el oro cero de mercurio. Sí se puede sacar el oro cero de mercurio, cero de otras químicas.
Contreras sets herself apart from other artisanal miners who use the toxic metal to bind with gold because it's easy and cheap.
Es costoso, gastos de operación, como usted verá, esta pequeña planta de beneficio tiene un costo, para poder implementar tiene un costo, para poder trabajar formalmente tiene un costo porque tienes que tener personales en planilla, tienes que pagar todos tus impuestos, pero si tú quieres trabajar con tranquilidad y sin que nadie te moleste, lamentablemente tenemos que llegar a esta etapa.
Contreras and her collective get paid a slightly higher price for the environmentally responsible gold, while Castro has clients in New York and London demanding sustainable jewellery and are prepared to pay more.
I would say that we are paying the real price, the price that has to be paid to the miners for the work that they do to obtain the gold responsibly and with traceability and with formal methods, which is very important to bring prosperity into their communities.
More and more women in Madre de Dios choose to produce sustainable gold as they care for the environment and the health of their families.
So when the clients...
The next step is for responsible gold to become the preferred choice for high street jewelers. But that will depend more on the standards set by the gold industry than the miners in Peru.